So day 2, Gerry's Escape House road trip, and it was Springerville all the way down to Bisbee, so a long haul, and started out in what is basically Vermont and ending up back in desert, high desert, I guess. So I actually had planned a different route, and GPS, the bee in the box, took me into New Mexico in the Gila National Forest, which was absolutely fine. I was already in New Mexico before I realized I was not on the right road, and honestly it didn't make any difference. It was probably a much more scenic route to go down, and incredibly beautiful. I mean, you know, it really did look like Vermont with the pines and what have you, and there were so few cars on the road that when you did pass someone, you know, people waved, that sort of cutism. But it was also sort of, you make you realize you really need a reliable car, and certainly gas. Not that I ever needed gas, because I was driving 50, 55 miles an hour that just seemed to suit the sort of roads that we were on, and I was taking my time. It didn't even make any difference. So all the way down, and then on to Wilcox, Benson, and then down Tombstone, Bisbee. And you know, the thing that always fascinates me with Arizona is seeing people in, you know, these remote places, and my question is always, how did you end up here? And why right here? Why not kind of over there? And you know, a little frightening, a little lonely, I guess, in some ways, but fascinating. You know, so anyway, long change in altitude and also in climate, and we're going down and then back up a little, because Tucson really is much higher than Phoenix. Phoenix at 1,400 feet above sea level. I think Tucson's is at 3, and it goes up to 4, and then of course Mount Lemmon I think goes all the way up to 7. So you know, much higher, and the weather was definitely broken and cooler. And I've been to Bisbee before, and it's an old mining town, and it's set in a valley, and it is very quaint architecturally, and it's sort of the gay town, supposedly. And when I was there years ago, certainly pre-COVID, it was much more vibrant and much more jumping. And this time you could feel the devastation of the economy, all these businesses that are closed, and it didn't feel like a gay town, which doesn't bother me in the slightest. It really felt like an awful lot of gay senior men, and I mean more senior than me, and you know, activist lesbians, and then twinkers, and a lot of people hanging around just not doing anything with their lives, which was not, you know, not very encouraging. But it is charming. There was a lot of road works going on Main Street. So that was a little challenging, a little bit noisier. But they also had a citywide compulsory mask wearing, which was, I am not doing that. So that was a little intimidating. You really felt that you were in this little fascist town where, you know, you had to obey the rules. And I'm not going to obey the rules. So, you know, I got looks from people as I wandered downtown. The person in the Jonquil guest house, I think it was Jonquil Inn, was delightful. You know, her and her husband loved Bisbee, kept coming down, finally bought a place in there, and it was, you know, classic old 1930s hotel motel. And she was, you know, vibrant and, you know, energetic, what have you, and very welcoming. So it was, you know, nice people. But you know, I went down, and of course, you know, there's the Black Lives Matter painted on a building across the road, and he has a portrait in yellow of St. George Floyd, who, you know, died of a fentanyl overdose. This is what we know now, you know, if you don't wait for the facts. So, you know, it has become a really political town and a very left town, and add that to the sort of pride alphabet, not a comfortable environment. So Bisbee is out. I would absolutely not want to be there, but you know, had a really wonderful Mexican meal outdoors. The weather broke, there was a lovely breeze, and it just felt so wonderful. But of course, everything is outdoors. The service is outdoors. So it was a really pleasant time to be down there. It was a long trip down, but quite frankly, I was happy to leave Bisbee and just get away from that sort of pressure. So anyway, that's day 2, and then on to day 3.